Oh,
That's not the right notebook.
that's probably Patrick. I'm gonna
Anybody
guess.
recognize that phone number?
I'm gonna guess it's Patrick.
Patrick's not in today. He's not coming today.
Yeah, he
It
said he
might-
won't be in.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hi.
I don't have, did you send
Oh,
me
Rick.
the agenda?
It's posted online.
I know, but I can't get in right now.
Oh, you want me to send it to your phone?
Yeah, please. But just send it to my email. I'll get it on my phone.
Rick, is this your cell phone number that you're on here with?
Yep, it's the only phone number I have.
So Kate, you were saying, so I guess Patrick's not gonna be at the meeting today, is that what you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who will we have?
Everybody else is supposed to be on. We have Brian,
So-
Teresa, and Debbie. Brian, Teresa, Debbie, and you right now. But Courtney was supposed to be.
There's Courtney.
All
Good
right,
morning.
Morning. Hey, so why don't we go ahead and get started? I don't need the agenda right now.
Hold on,
I just
just
forwarded the
gotta get
email.
everything. Heidi, are you ready to go? Okay, if you'll go ahead and start, and then I should be there with you just shortly, just making a note of who all's here. Thank you. Courtney's not here.
I'm
Thank
here.
you, Kate. I got the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Kate.
I knew that. I knew because I'm the one that let you into the meeting. All right. So the only one that we're missing is Patrick. Okay, we are all set, ready to go, Mr. Katowski.
Okay, I'd like to start the meeting. It's December 10th. You have a list of everybody who's attending. So could I have an approval of the agenda? Any additions,
So moved.
comments? All in favor? Aye.
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 Mr.
Aye.
Katowski, we need a second on the motion.
I'll
Okay,
second
okay.
and I,
Who's second?
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, I'd like to go through the approval of the minutes. Do we have any additions, corrections, deletions? May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Could I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Debbie.
Debbie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Correspondence.
So
Okay.
we'll give a couple minutes for public comment. If anybody would like to call in at this time.
What was correspondence?
Oh
We don't
geez,
have correspondence on the agenda.
sorry, Rick. I sent you the historic district. I'm
Okay,
sending you the agenda right now, the right agenda.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was
What
the
is-
historic.
What do they do for correspondence?
For applications, when people email in
Oh,
or
okay.
send letters, you
Gotcha.
pass it on to the commission. All right, so
Mr. Katowski, we have no one waiting in the lobby, so I don't believe we have any public comment.
Okay, thank
okay.
you.
Do you have the agenda in front of you? Can you see the next item?
It's staff update.
No, go ahead. I'll get it in a second here. So go ahead. Can I have the staff update, Kate?
All right. So just giving a quick update on the social media page, still doing well. Just posted a video clip from the Cresco Award from Tuesday night, and that was really well received. So we do have basically some correspondence. I've just put it in the staff update. We were contacted by Nathaniel Horton with Clemson University, and he found the 1870 Scanlanville Monument. And so I contacted the Department of Archives and History, and I'm going to fill out a survey for them to have on their records. But he pretty much told me that there is no preservation power that he has over the monument. It's in local right-of-way. It's not anything to do with federal, so we could move forward however we'd like to. Nathaniel connected me with Ed Lee and the HOA president out there. I'm leaving out the location right now because it's not secure. The monument is still there. It's not securely in place, so we're just gonna leave it at that. It's the Scanlanville Monument, but they would like to erect a marker and display the monument somehow. So for the end of the agenda, when we do vote to put next items for next month, I would suggest adding this item to the agenda, and for the subcommittee to work directly with them on a plan moving forward for preserving the monument and the plaque and next steps, basically. And so I do have some pictures.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, that monument currently is 2 feet below ground, and they unearthed it. It took them about a year after he found a reference to it in a book. And it actually is the point from which all the plots and the land has been determined, and that's the original marker. So it's a very, powerful piece. Discussion is also around it to consider something erecting like they did with Plymouth Rock and, bells and things like that, where you'd be able to protect it from the elements, but make it visible in some way to people, and then make that site, build that site out more with some stories or content. So yeah, if we need to, Kate, at the end, I'm willing to put that on for next month's agenda.
And we'll be able to discuss it next month officially in following with FOIA requirements. So this was brought forth, and so we can move on it once it's officially on the agenda. And so moving on.
I have one question. Is that on public or private land?
It's in town right of way. It's public. It's the town.
Okay. All right. So we'll put that on the agenda when we get there.
Mm-hmm. And
Anything else, Kate?
yes, there was another recommendation for a historical marker. Mrs. Sarah Garner with the rec department. She was contacted by Jean Brown Morris asking for a marker to be erected for her mother, Miriam Brown. She, the town's community center on Royal and King is named after her. She lived to be 102. She sent over a history of her life, and she did suggest this would also be a good topic for Black History Month, but would like to have a marker placed in front of the community center to honor her. And so I sent out the PDF of that story, the life and contributions of Miriam Brown. And so I would like to suggest to put this on the agenda for next month as well, and for the historical marker subcommittee to work directly on that. And that concludes my staff update.
Okay, thank you, Kate.
Can everyone see the agenda on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, now let's move on to our committee reports. Public Education Committee, Black History Month. I will cover the first one with, I was in correspondence with Walter Brown's son. Duke has said that he's confirmed the Panhellenic Council presentation. His email states that he says it's January 27th. It's actually February 27th at 6:30. The only open item he has is the methodology that we're going to be using for broadcasting, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, etc. So we're all set with that day. I got a message this morning from Patrick, who is expecting correspondence from the professor regarding his commitment. He's still waiting for that, but he assures me that that should not be a problem. So the other date that we are still working on, I guess, Teresa, you were working on that one. Could you update us where we are?
Yeah, that's been confirmed. Ed Lee has the PowerPoint. They're going to come over to Town Hall in January and film it. And they have a narrator from College of Charleston that's going to be the narrator. And so we gave them a few different dates, and they're going to get back to us by the end of the week or today with the date that they want to come over and film everything. So that's confirmed, and we'll have a date scheduled in January for all the filming. So that's done.
Excellent. Thank you, Trude.
Thank
And
you.
that was the 6th, correct? We were doing, you're muted, Teresa.
Sorry, that's for the 6th. And we're and it's going to be filmed in January, so we will be able to keep the video as well and have that on site, and we can also have it if we need something else.
Just wanted to reconfirm.
Yep.
Thank you.
Kate, we'll need some sort of an introduction that I'd be glad to be filmed for the events. Is that something we can do? That Teresa, is that something we could do that day and film with them and have it as a separate piece?
Yeah, and I'm sure Kate can do that because Kate's would kind of go in front of just like she did for Tuesday night, right, Kate?
Yeah, I can do that for sure. Or Rick could stand up in front before, however we want to do that. We're going to be filming here. I'll do the filming here at Town Hall. So
so it doesn't have to be on that date, but if maybe we could put something together, a date that I could come down and do the introduction.
Right, correct, and then we can just use that every time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and I just wanted to thank Kate for doing such a great job on the Cresco Award. Very well written and presented. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, Kate, thank you.
I forgot to do that in the staff update. So.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. So it seems like we've got the
3 dates.
The 3 dates. As far as fees, I know that we'd said that Patrick was going to come back to us with the fee. Would we like to discuss any honorarium fees, or like last year we ordered Black History Month mugs for gifts? What kind of fees would we like to put aside for gifts or just money?
Well, Patrick did raise the issue that he thought it would be appropriate for a $250 honorarium for the professor, and I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
Is there any requirement, Teresa, or anything that we need to do with the group that you're working with?
No, they didn't ask about that at all. And the only
Okay.
thing is they'll probably reference the park, in Clemson and that whole activity. But no, they didn't ask for anything. And I
Okay,
didn't offer anything.
No, and then I think in Duke's, the Panhandle and the council, I don't think we can give, I'm not sure if there's an organization we can actually give a donation to or an honorarium to. I'll check with him on that. But in the meantime, why don't we pre-approve an honorarium for both of those events? And if we don't need it, we won't have, it'll be approved, and we won't use it, but it'll be taken care of. Is that appropriate? Does everybody have some input on that?
Sounds good.
Okay, so how about you make a motion then, and then we get a second, and I can have that official.
Kate, what is the date of Patrick's presentation?
It's the 20th.
Okay. I move that the Historical Commission for Black History Month provide for 2 honorariums on the nights of February 20th and 27th to be presented to our presenters at the amount of $250 each.
Alrighty.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Any further
Was that
discussion?
David? Was that Debbie?
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Lynette.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Are we
Okay.
going to be doing posters like last year, or would we like to just keep promotions virtual? Because that's also a fee that's related to the event.
I think we should do it virtually because with posters, I'm not sure how many places are being frequented and that'll see posters.
That's a good
certainly
point.
something that we put up in town hall like we normally do, although I know we use posters. So something along those lines. And then obviously something for the Quick Fact Fridays. So
Yeah. Would you like to explore virtually advertising in any newspapers or anything like that?
Well, certainly the Moultrie News.
I don't know. I think I looked it up last year, but I don't have that number. If we paid for them to advertise for us.
Well, I think it's because that paper still is delivered to everybody who doesn't want one. So that means everybody in town gets the paper theoretically. I think we should put aside maybe $500 for advertising if necessary. So I'd like to move that.
So, Mr. Gutowski, I'm sorry, Mr. Gutowski, just for one moment. I know that when we advertise for our ads for our meetings, they are a minimum for a one-time post in the Post and Courier. It's around $500. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Could I suggest we had talked about it for doing the launch for the tours as well in the passport. Maybe we go ahead and take that list of all those digital assets and we create some, an email with all the links, and we start reaching out to like CHS Today and the schools and the museums, and we, email and do some different approaches that way and get in front of a couple of different organizations and businesses, and, send it to our small businesses and send them a PDF if they want to print it out and hang it on their window. And then we would be able to go ahead and duplicate that, see how that traffic is, and use that for the passport. So we'll use it for the passport first, and at the same time start seeding Black History Month, and then do something specifically for Black History Month.
We definitely could do that. I actually would probably suggest it might be appropriate too, if you guys think, to do both. I think that's a way to kind of reach everyone. And I also would say, in addition to the Moultrie News, that putting an ad at least once or twice in the Post and Courier would be a good idea, like for a Sunday display.
I don't think that makes sense, because I don't think we've done things like call or send it to all the churches, like all the AME churches and everybody. If we send it to them and have them put it in their bulletin, we're going to get a lot more exposure. And, if we send it to the people that are on the African American Museum board, and if we send it to, the Preservation Society and groups like that, I think we'll get a lot more visibility to the schools if we send it to every school office. But I don't think right now we have that outreach. So maybe if we focus a little bit on building that outreach too, that would be beneficial.
I like that.
And then another thing to consider is you can actually do some paid advertising on like Facebook and other social media sites. And that typically there's different fees for how often you want that, sent out and stuff. So that's another option that you can look at as well.
Okay, so who's going to do what here?
So let's go ahead and continue with the motion. We've got, Rick has a motion on the table that said to put aside $500 for advertising if necessary. So as far as...
I'll second that, and then we can decide how we're going to disseminate it based on the next steps with the publicity.
Okay, so I'll just come back to the meeting, or I'll come back to y'all with pricing, and last year I did the posters, the year before I did the posters, so I'll be able to come up with something to send out, and we can all work individually too to email groups, but I'll put together a group, an email group to try and push this out virtually as well.
Okay. Yeah, because you're going to have to create the poster to print regardless, or the ad. So we just take that and we can use that digitally also.
Yeah. Okay. So
we need a vote on that motion.
Okay. Can I have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's passed. Thank you. Good input. Let's move on to the Special Collection Committee.
So this was one that from the last meeting, taking an action on the collected COVID-19 related newspapers. We had discussed it and talked about bringing it back up, but I had forgotten to put it on the agenda officially. So for FOIA requirements, we have the action item here. If somebody would like to start the discussion, and then motion, second, and vote on this item.
Well, at the last meeting, we had decided that we weren't going to save those, that we had everything digitally. So I'll motion that we can go ahead and discard the collection of newspapers now that we've created the digital components for future, and somebody can second.
Second.
Okay. And all in favor?
I'm sorry, Teresa, can you restate that motion again?
I motioned that we will go ahead and discard the collected COVID-19 related newspaper collection now that
Okay,
we have
thank you.
everything digital.
And Debbie, that was you seconding, correct?
Yes, Lynetta was.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is passed. The Tourism Committee.
Kate has the links. We just have to approve. This was from last meeting as well, but we didn't have it on there for approval, and we had some changes. So Kate can go through the links, and then we just have to approve each of these as a finished product so we can launch this program in January.
Can everybody still see the, they see what I'm doing?
Yes.
See the website? Okay. I need to save this as a PDF. Okay, so this was the brochure design. We have the link for the video tutorial on here, and then all of these are hyperlinked as well. The walking tour is hyperlinked, and Quick Fact Friday to follow us on Instagram. Everything is hyperlinked on here. So last time we had discussed just keeping it virtually, a virtual brochure, since there are so many hyperlinks.
Right, and at this time we don't hand anything out. We're not at any events, but in the future, if we wanted to, we could. It's all set up so that we could just print it two-sided, one on each side, and fold it in a trifold.
Looks great.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion, a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the design of the brochure as presented today.
I have a second.
Second, this is Courtney.
Any further discussion? All right, could I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, unanimously passed, aye. Thank you. Let's go on to the approval of the brochure.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That was approval of the brochure. We need an approval on the passport program.
I messed up the order. That was my fault. We need an approval of the passport design. So this is the passport design that we came up with. Debbie and Brian, Teresa, Courtney, did you do some questions possibly?
No,
They all did some questions on here, and so we really good team effort. So all the questions, and then to hear congratulations on completing it. Check your answers below. And so this is what we had come up with for the passport design. And communications did this logo for us. So everything's been approved internally.
Great. Can I make a motion to approve the Mount Pleasant Historical Commission passport program design?
And I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion is passed.
Great. And so I don't, do we have an updated video
Courtney emailed late last night, but she had made some changes. So I think we can accept the video as is, and then if we wanted to at any time improve it, that would just be, you know, what normal improvements. But I haven't seen the link that she sent last night.
I haven't either. Sorry.
All I did was
I didn't have a chance either.
I added in some transitions, you know, to make it flow better.
Beautiful.
And then the audio that I recorded wasn't even as good as Kate's. So the audio is the same and the script is the same. So I don't see a problem just voting it. If we want to make some small changes, I don't think it'll substantially change the video.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve the History on Tap video.
Second.
The second? Who's the second?
Debbie.
Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie. Can we have any further discussion? No? All right, let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is passed. Thank you. So that's going to be a living document that changes on anyway. So
Right.
trying to nail it down with an approved one as of a certain date doesn't necessarily get us anywhere. So.
Agreed.
So discuss the outreach action and promotion for the passport program.
Yeah,
Hey.
so I would love if you would remind me a bit what we began to talk about it, and then we said we needed to wait and put it on the agenda. I think Brian was the one who possibly.
Oh yeah, I think Brian had marketing, and basically it was what I was just talking about, the lists and
Yes.
targeting, creating digital assets that we could send to people. So if they wanted to print something to hang up in the window, they could. We had a letter that says, you know, this is from the town council. This is our new program. It's educational. This is why we did it. Share it with your students. Share it with your constituents, your, you know, churchgoers, whatever, and that we attack lists of different businesses and we start creating a proactive and outreach program for, you know, along with our social and our normal working with the press, local press. And we kind of just discussed the same thing for Black History Month. So I think that's really what that was for. And then Brian can add on whatever marketing he was talking about.
Yeah, so this would be, I think there's some easy and free ways to be able to get kind of this message out. And I know kind of, Teresa, we talked at the end of the last meeting just briefly, but I think like hotels would be a great opportunity for guests to the area, where you could have it in like the brochure racks that often our area hotels have for guests. Would be a good opportunity to put, you know, this promotional material in.
Agreed.
But there's numerous opportunities to be able to get this out in the community, and I think in a pretty non-monetary way where we don't have to pay for it. That we just kind of need to finalize who does what and then how to get it out there.
And we can start with minimal prints if we do things where we drop it off at the hotels and stuff like that when that's open. So we can do that for the January budget. Or do we have that for now, Kate? I think we had all decided we weren't going to distribute anything now because of the COVID situation, and right now we're not doing the Christmas. So do we want to just extend, like, you know, the hotel list, the business list, and do that with something that they can print and download? And then do we just want to plan doing, you know, revisiting printing in January?
I think that's reasonable, Brian.
I agree. And I think I know that's kind of separate with the passport program and Black History Month, but when we were kind of divvying up how to get all this out there, we can kind of tether all that together.
Can I have a suggestion? It would be a good idea to contact the CVB, Charleston Visitors Bureau, and see if we can get this program listed under the history tab on their website.
That's
Great idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think they would, Courtney, charge us for that? Because I know, like, to be listed on there, it's $700 a year to be on their website. And that's the most basic link, no pictures.
I'd have to reach out. I know we do it.
You
for
may have some
multiple-
better contacts over there that might be able to assist.
I will ask our marketing person here at the Preservation Society what we normally do with them. Because I know we do stuff with them during our Fall Tours program.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a good point because there's markers programs for the state and there's TripAdvisor. From a genealogical perspective, there's a lot of ways from a historical perspective we could get listed on sites. But that, again, that's why we have to kind of start attacking it from a digital outreach perspective.
Yeah, if we can get on the Visitors Bureau site, they're number 1 or number 2 for searches when you type in Charleston on Google.
Yeah.
So that would be a great opportunity if we are able to get into that.
Yeah, okay, so this was a discussion item. But did we want to, well, I guess we'll come to that at the later date. If we wanted to keep this on the agenda or bring it back up when COVID.
Because I think Teresa and I can probably get together and start divvying up some of the tasks and getting it a little bit more organized. And kind of shelve it for when we have a plan in place. And
yeah, and I already submitted. I took the first crack at a list for outreach and sent that over to Kate. So I did do groups and things like the churches, the schools, CHS Today, some other digital publications to support the social. So we can start with that also.
oh, great. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, because I think we have our own small business, don't we? We have the shop local. So I don't think why we wouldn't be able to go and use our own shop local list and ask them to send it out to all the shop local businesses also. I think we can get more reach out of the town. We just have to use more relationships internally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So does that conclude our discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Organization and administration, this, I didn't have anything underneath it, but just for you, Courtney, to add to the budget.
Last time we had a running balance of about $7,000, and that took the Cresco Award into consideration. So I will up. Is that still accurate? Have we incurred any other expenses since last month?
Not that.
We'll have probably $50, I think, was for the labels, but that hasn't gone through yet, or I haven't gotten updated on that yet, but that was about $50, I think, if I remember, plus whatever, maybe shipping. And then the 500 Rick just said, and the 250. So those would be the only things that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's an extra 1,000.
Yes.
500.
All right.
500 for advertising and $250.
Got it. I did have one more question, which is that if we give $250 honorariums to 2 of the groups, did we want to at least give a gift to Ed Lee and that group?
If it works, sure.
Because we do have budget. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that would be
Teresa?
nice. Even do something for them. Yeah, which and I'll leave that up to Kate. And what do we need to make a motion to? Do I need to make a motion to do that, to give a gift to Ed Lee up to $50?
Yes. So we passed that item on the agenda, but I guess reopen the Public Education Committee discussion of fees, in addition to the 2 to give $50 to Ed Lee, the PowerPoint for February 6th. So that would raise raise it to $550 to
Okay.
go to fees for the presenters or for the actual events, and then 500 for the advertising. So if we could have a
Well, can I
a
hold on a
motion.
second? We had talked about, you had mentioned something about gifts. Are we just talking about a $50 gift, or are we talking about mugs or something for Black History Month? Or
Yeah, I just said
what's
up
appropriate?
to $50, and if Kate has the mugs and we have stuff on hand, we can use that, or if we had to order
we're-
more, whichever
Yeah,
way.
so it's not a cash donation as much as it is a gift, a hard gift. Am I correct?
So
Correct.
$50 to be used as a gift, towards a gift item.
Yes.
Okay, all right,
rather than just a donation.
all right. Can I have a
Correct,
motion?
just like we did the mugs or whatever. So the motion would be up to $50 for a gift mug basket for Ed Lee for the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So continuing with the budget, we probably are going to have a surplus this year. So I know Kate had talked or had emailed about using some of that to help offset the cost for some new markers, potentially. But maybe we can add to the agenda next month to talk about that.
Now, brief question, because I'm unfamiliar. Does that roll over into next year if there is a?
No.
It
No.
does not. Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Lose it, you
So we
lose
need to spend it.
So for markers, just for everybody's edification, markers have to be very well written, and they take time to work on, and they also take time to produce as far as getting them actually cast and set up. So Lynette, you know, how long does a marker normally take in the past? How long has it taken?
Like 2 months, right?
It's about 2 months once we send in the text and all for the marker to be actually cast and completed and shipped. So in front of that, that's, you know, of course the text has to be approved, and that time frame is completely up to, you know, that's at your discretion. So it
Were
just
they
kinda
running?
depends on
Were they
how-
running about $5,000? Is that what they were? Should we earmark that for a marker? It's like now out of the
It's-
budget.
It's actually
no?
about 20. It's about
was gonna say-
2,800 per marker.
The reason you're
3,000.
thinking 5,000 is because we were donated the 5,000 for 2 markers in
Okay.
Brickyard. We put up 2 markers in Brickyard. Yeah,
So
it's
it-
usually under 3,000.
Is that something we can do where we can suggest that we put 6,000 aside, like 3 for each marker or something,
It's not.
so that we
I
do the
don't
budget
believe
or
that.
no?
I don't
I'm
think
that's
that's
what I'm asking.
necessary.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it's necessary as much as we don't have a lot of time because everything has to be set before May 1st to get an invoice in to get paid, so that it goes into the budget. Am I correct, Lynette?
As long as it is that we actually receive the marker before July 1st,
Okay,
then we do have a little bit of leeway after that as far as getting the payment satisfied. We just have to make sure that we have the marker in hand by June 30th.
so my point is here is that we have to identify a place, we have to get the information, and then get it approved. My first ever meeting, and Lynette was our scribe, our secretary. We went from 5 o'clock until about 10 o'clock at night discussing the words on a marker. So I don't expect that to happen again, but it does take a while to write these up and get them in the appropriate form so that we can have a marker. So just everybody should be aware that it takes time. So we should time is of the essence at this point, so.
I think from my point of view, it was more just can we offer to offset the cost of the markers that are already maybe going to be coming to us as a commission.
I'm not, I don't understand.
I don't know.
Like Miriam Brown, for example, if she wants to do a marker, could we split the cost with her for that Miriam Brown marker? Or if we want to
I think we can cover the cost of markers with the surplus that we have, but we just need to define what markers we want. So,
And that's. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think we need to earmark specifically in the budget right now.
Especially because
Make a
it wasn't on the agenda. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
The
that's
best-
that's what I was asking. Is there something we wanted to do with that money? Did we need to have that item, on the agenda marked or something to designate it so we don't lose it? I wasn't here prior, so I wasn't sure how that worked. That's what I was trying to figure out.
I
If there's
understand now.
something else, okay. If there's something
So
else we want to put the money to.
So for the next item, for the discussion for the next month's agenda, we could add, allocating fees along with the marker discussion to come back. But that's that's something we'll have to put in the agenda item.
For that discussion, I'd like a defined plan, though, with what markers we're talking about.
So are we ready to move on to,
So what I have under the next month's agenda is discussion of the Scanlonville Monument, discussion of a possible Miriam Brown marker, and discussion of the use of budget and possible new historical markers.
Yeah, and that's why I asked, because the Scanlonville, it may be $5,000 to build a wall or something around that and protect that 2 feet in the ground. So my thought was, we're going to have that, and I would rather spend $5,000 and do that right and make that something very specific and unique versus doing markers. So that I would rather focus on the Scanlonville piece and find out what we need there, because that's going to be unique in its needs from the environment perspective.
okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to close this organization and administration committee discussion, and for the discussion of next month's agenda items, we won't add how much we'd allocate. We'd just come back.
I think we
with
should just
possible
put on there
prices.
to discuss future markers for the fiscal year, and leave it at that, so that we don't tie ourselves down to a specific thing.
Yeah,
Right,
so
and
discuss
and-
the finances.
Right, and Lynette
Not
has the list of the things that we can consider, the Miriam, Scanlonville, et cetera. So she already listed those.
Right. Well, some other items, are we through now with the Organization Administration Committee?
I did have one more thing to bring up under this is, do we need to do anything as a commission to try to get another commissioner to fill in for Antonio?
That's the town's, that's all of our own responsibility to get somebody to recommend. Walter's son
Duke.
emailed me and said he'd like to be considered, so.
Okay.
And I think Kate was selling him the application and giving him all that information now so he could go to town council.
Correct.
Yes.
But-
Because ultimately, town council does decide, and it's an application process. So I sent that to him, and I followed up with Christine, Wednesday. Yeah, after the town council meeting, because I didn't see it on the town council agenda. So I just asked, if we hadn't gotten any applications, or why.
I never saw any advertising.
Yeah, I don't know. So I asked her. But to answer your
All right.
question, yes, yes, promote it, promote the vacancy, and encourage people to apply.
Okay.
And be aware that my term is up in April, and I am not allowed to rerun for the commission. So there will be a seat available again in April. So that's just something for you to consider if you want to talk to some people that you might know are appropriate for this, so they can think about it in the meantime. Are we through with that committee now?
Yes.
All right, for the next, Lynette, you mentioned the Scanlon bill and what else did you have on there?
So we've got discussion of the Scanlonville Monument, discussion of possible Miriam Brown marker, and discussion of budget and possible new historical markers.
Okay, and then we need to add on there our annual meeting dates. We have to decide what time our meetings are going to be for 2021.
Those are already set unless you wanted to change the time of the meeting.
We
Those
should
are
have a
already-
discussion about it.
That was changed in your bylaws. So that's automatically handled by staff. But if you needed to and wanted to change the day and the time, then we would just put that on as an agenda item.
I think we should have it on the agenda because those times have moved, and it's not the date as much, but the times have moved to accommodate people's schedules. So I think the current commission at that point should have a chance to discuss what makes better time. If it's still the same time, that's fine, but I'd like everybody to have an opportunity to do that. And then also we have our election, our annual election on January 1st, January. And,
Yes, that's an automatic agenda item that's put on the agenda.
Okay.
Since it's just in the actual bylaws.
Well, if Rick's leaving, then do we nominate somebody else, Rick, for your spot if you're leaving in April? Or did you do the whole year?
That would be what you would discuss in the January meeting.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
let's have a motion. Discuss the Scanlonville Monument, discuss the Marion Brown, discuss the money for future markers, and discuss the best time for meetings moving forward. A motion, a second, and a vote.
So moved.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Does that
Aye.
work for you, Lynette?
That's fine. Yes, I have that.
Okay. So moved. Who seconded it?
Courtney.
Courtney. Thank you, Courtney. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'd like to call for an adjournment, a vote to adjourn. Have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Thank you, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas and stay safe and warm, and don't party up too much.
Merry
With your-
Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Take
Christmas.
care.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Brian, I'll catch up with you. Thank you all.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Thanks, Teresa. Bye.
Thanks, Brian. Bye.